In 1976, as America prepared to celebrate its 200th birthday, the United States Mint released a coin that looked ordinary at first glance, a familiar face worn smooth by everyday hands. The Bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar poured into circulation by the millions, jingling in pockets, forgotten in drawers, and tossed into jars across the country. Most people saw spare change, but hidden inside that flood of coins were rare variations that would later send shockwaves through the collecting world. Collectors still remember the moment the design first appeared. The date didn't read 1976 alone. It boldly declared 1776 to 1976, a tribute to 2 centuries of history. On the reverse, Independence Hall stood proud and sharp, a miniature monument struck in metal. It was a patriotic symbol that people saved as souvenirs, yet many of the coins were spent anyway, drifting into circulation where time began to erase their sharp edges. Among the Denver minted pieces, marked with a tiny D beneath the portrait of John F. Kennedy, a handful carried subtle minting quirks. These weren't obvious at a glance. They were microscopic secrets locked inside the metal, visible only to those patient enough to look. Slight doubled details, unusually strong strikes, and rare high-grade survivors began surfacing years later, and when they did, seasoned collectors felt their pulse quicken. One circulated 1976. D Bicentennial half-dollar, pulled from a dusty estate jar, looked completely average until it was examined under magnification. The fields gleamed brighter than expected. The details on Independence Hall were razor-sharp. When it was graded at the highest levels for a coin that had actually seen circulation, the bidding war that followed was electric. Dealers whispered. Phones rang nonstop. Collectors were shocked at how aggressively the price climbed. The bicentennial halves were struck in enormous numbers, but pristine examples that survived decades of use without heavy damage are astonishingly scarce. Add in a rare strike anomaly or exceptional preservation, and you have a coin that sits at the very peak of desirability. Auction rooms have erupted into applause as record-setting examples cross the block, proving that even a coin once used to buy a cup of coffee can transform into a life-changing asset. One man's pocket change became $1 million miracle when he inherited a small tin of mixed coins from a relative. He nearly cashed them in at face value. At the last second, curiosity made him look closer. The 1776 to 1976 date caught his eye. The Denver Mint mark was crisp. The coin showed wear, yet its surfaces shimmered with an unusual luster. After authentication and grading, experts confirmed it was an elite condition circulated survivor with extraordinary eye appeal. The final sale price left the room breathless and permanently changed that collector's life. During the bicentennial rush, production pressures were intense. Dies were pushed to their limits. Subtle die cracks, doubled inscriptions, and off-center strikes slipped past quality control. Most were spent without a second thought. Today, these minting mistakes are hunted relentlessly. Each discovery feels like uncovering buried treasure, a direct link to a historic celebration frozen in metal. Collectors are racing to re-examine rolls and jars that have sat untouched for decades. Every 1976, D half-dollar is a question mark, a suspenseful possibility. Could this be the one with the hidden doubling? Could this be the unusually sharp strike that commands staggering premiums? The excitement is contagious, spreading through coin shops and online forums where stories of unexpected finds ignite fresh waves of searching. And just when experts thought they had cataloged every variety, new examples kept appearing. This unpredictability is what makes the Bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar so electrifying. It sits at the crossroads of history and chance. Each coin carries the echoes of a national celebration and the tantalizing promise of hidden value. Even circulated pieces, long dismissed as common, are being reappraised with new intensity as grading standards and collector demand evolve. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on standout specimens. Auction previews draw crowds eager to glimpse the finest known examples. When a top-tier circulated coin with exceptional feature surfaces, the tension is palpable. Bidders lean forward. Hearts pound. The hammer falls, and another astonishing price is etched into collecting history. The surge of interest from a new generation of collectors collided with the nostalgia of those who remembered 1976 firsthand. Demand spiked. Prices followed. Coins once traded casually began commanding serious attention, especially those with rare characteristics or elite preservation. The bicentennial half-dollar transformed from a sentimental keepsake into a high-stakes treasure hunt. Yet the greatest power of this coin lies in its accessibility. Unlike legendary rarities locked away in vaults, these have still circulate quietly in the background of everyday life. They hide in inherited collections, forgotten piggy banks, and old dresser drawers. Each discovery carries the thrill of possibility, the spark that keeps collectors searching late into the night. Somewhere, a 1976 Bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar is waiting to be recognized for what it truly is. It may look worn and ordinary, but under the right light, with the right details, it can reveal a story of rarity and survival that commands extraordinary respect in the marketplace. Collectors know that history favors the observant, the patient, and the bold to identify this coin. Start with the date. It must read 1776 to 1976. Turn it over and study Independence Hall, looking for crisp lines and unusual sharpness. Check beneath Kennedy's portrait for the small D mint mark from Denver. Examine the surfaces for strong original luster hiding beneath light wear, and search carefully for doubling in the lettering or fine cracks that signal rare die varieties. Avoid heavily damaged pieces with deep scratches or corrosion, as these flaws can erase value instantly. Take your time. Use magnification. Compare your coin with verified high-grade examples. The smallest detail can separate an ordinary half-dollar from a headline-making treasure. Collectors who rush often miss the signs. Those who look closely sometimes uncover history-changing surprises, because somewhere in America, right now, a circulated 1976 Bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar is sitting unnoticed, carrying the silent potential to shock the market and rewrite someone's future. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. In 1966, while America was still mourning the loss of John F. Kennedy, the nation clung to a small silver tribute that passed quietly from hand to hand. The 1966 Kennedy half-dollar wasn't just pocket change. It was born during a turbulent time when silver shortages and public hoarding forced the United States Mint to change the way coins were made forever. Most people never realized that hidden inside this ordinary-looking coin was a story of secrecy, experimental minting, and rare variations that could transform 50 cents into a collector's fantasy. When the first 1966 halves rolled off the presses, they carried 40% silver, a fading echo of America's precious metal coinage. But what shocked insiders was the Mint's decision to remove mint marks entirely from coins between 1965 and 1967. Officials feared collectors would hoard them. So every 1966 Kennedy half-dollar looked anonymous, stripped of its birthplace. That single decision created a fog of mystery that still fascinates collectors today. Behind closed doors, special mint sets were produced with extraordinary care. These coins weren't meant for circulation. They were struck with sharper details, smoother fields, and a satin-like finish that glows under light. Decades later, when collectors rediscovered pristine examples of these special mint set coins, auction rooms buzzed with disbelief. A flawless specimen, preserved like a time capsule, crossed the block and sent prices soaring into 5 figures. Suddenly, people everywhere were tearing through old drawers and inherited collections, wondering if their forgotten half-dollars held the same magic. Collectors were shocked to learn that condition was everything. A worn 1966 half-dollar might still whisper of history, but a perfectly preserved coin could roar with value. Under magnification, experts began spotting subtle differences in strike quality, cameo contrasts, and surface textures. Some coins displayed razor-sharp hairlines on Kennedy's portrait and mirror-like backgrounds that seemed almost unreal. These elite examples became legends in their own right. Tiny minting mistakes, invisible to casual eyes, started commanding enormous attention. There were doubled dies where letters appeared to vibrate, as if the coin itself were trembling with energy. There were off-center strikes that shifted the design into surreal territory. A few rare pieces showed clipped planchets or dramatic die cracks that looked like lightning frozen in metal. Each error told a story of a split-second malfunction on a roaring production line. Each one sent collectors into a frenzy. In rare cases, extraordinary error coins in near-perfect condition have triggered bidding wars that echo through the hobby for years. While not every 1966 half-dollar will reach $1 million, the idea that such a humble coin could climb into life-changing territory fuels an obsession that refuses to fade. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on exceptional examples. Online forums explode with rumors of new discoveries. One man's pocket change became $1 million miracle, and everyone wants to be next. The emotional pull of this coin runs deeper than money. It's a connection to a pivotal era in American history, captured in silver and copper. When collectors hold a 1966 Kennedy half-dollar, they're touching a moment when a nation was redefining itself. That sense of history amplifies the thrill of the hunt. Every roll searched feels like a journey back in time. Every glint of silver a promise of possibility. As grading standards tightened and population reports grew, the rarest high-grade survivors separated themselves from the pack. Coins graded at the absolute pinnacle became celebrities. Their auction appearances were treated like major events. Photographs circulated online, showcasing surfaces so pristine they looked freshly struck. Prices climbed higher and higher, feeding dreams of hidden treasures waiting to be found in ordinary homes. Collectors were shocked again when estate sales began yielding untouched special mint set coins. Families who had stored them away for decades unknowingly possessed miniature fortunes. Each discovery reignited the narrative that somewhere, in a forgotten box or dusty safe, another spectacular 1966 half-dollar was waiting to emerge, because the difference between a common coin and a jaw-dropping prize can hinge on details smaller than a grain of sand. A slight doubling in the motto, an unusually sharp strike, a flawless surface untouched by circulation. These nuances separate coins worth a few dollars from those that command staggering premiums. And the possibility that such a coin could be hiding in plain sight keeps collectors searching with relentless hope. Now imagine opening an old jar of coins inherited from a relative. Your fingers brush against a half-dollar with a soft silver sheen. Your heart races as you remember the legends. You tilt it under the light, scanning Kennedy's portrait, checking the edges, studying every letter. In that moment, the room feels electric with anticipation. First, confirm the date reads 1966 and examine the overall condition. A coin with minimal scratches and strong luster is already ahead of the curve. Next, inspect the surfaces for unusual features. Look closely at the lettering and Kennedy's profile for signs of doubling. Rotate the coin slowly to catch any mirror-like finishes that suggest a special mint set origin. Check the edges for irregularities that could indicate striking errors. Avoid the common mistake of cleaning the coin. Even a gentle wipe can slash its value dramatically. Collectors prize originality above all else. If your coin appears exceptional, protect it immediately in a non-PVC holder and consider professional grading. Authentication can transform uncertainty into documented rarity, opening doors to serious collector interest. As this knowledge spreads, a quiet tension fills the hobby. Every collector knows the odds are slim, yet the rewards are intoxicating. The search becomes a ritual, a blend of patience and adrenaline. Each 1966 Kennedy half-dollar examined is a question posed to fate. And that lingering question is what keeps the dream alive. Somewhere tonight, a collector is discovering a coin that will rewrite their expectations. Somewhere, an overlooked half-dollar is sliding into the spotlight, ready to astonish the market. The history, the mystery, the possibility of $1 million echo in every glimmer of silver.